Hey everyone, welcome back to an episode of Create with Linda. So it's around 8:45 in the morning on Wednesday and I'm just having some scrambled eggs. I've been up since about 6:30 this morning. Woke up, couldn't go back to sleep. And mine was racing. I finally got out of bed, off the couch actually, at like 7:15. I have so many plans today. So I'm coming on because I want to update you guys on what's happening with hubby, Bill, my other half. What a whirlwind. Yesterday was a rough day. He ended up having 3 arteries that were clogged. So he needed 3 stents. So there was one that was really massively thick, and they really had to push it. It was bad. And so they were able to clear that one, which thank God was the major one, because that was the one they said that really caused the heart attack. And then he has 2 more that are full, but not that bad. They're full, whatever. Not as bad as the first one. So what happened was, because it was so harder, it was much harder to clear that first one that was so bad. They had to give him a little bit more contrast, and he had to be, it was a whole longer process, and his kidneys can't take that. Anybody's kidneys, it's too much contrast, so they had to stop. And besides the fact, he was having little chest pains as they were doing it. You're totally awake when they do this. I don't know whoever. I'm sure there are people I'm talking to right now that know this, that have had this procedure. You're awake. So he felt all the pressure, and he said his chest was hurting him, and all this. So they were able to clear the one major one, and then they stopped. And so because he had contrast a little bit more than they have to wait for his kidneys to clean out and to be completely clear before they go in and clear the other 2. So it's just a drawn out thing, and it's just hard because, you're in there and you're so emotional. You don't know what's going on. I mean, you know as much as you do as a logical, rational, educated, smart person. You know what I mean? So you do know a lot, and from life experience, I felt like I did know a lot. But of course, I'm not a cardiologist or anything like that. Whatever. But anyway, what I'm really referring to is not. I'm referring to the bureaucracy of all the hospital and all that stuff. He definitely, he went in there. I told you guys, I don't know if I even told you the beginning part yesterday when I talked to you guys. I might not have. I don't think I did. But we'll get to that. But when we got to the hospital, we go up to the desk. I go to you have to walk through security. You know how it goes. And I walked to the security man, rushed to the security man with my husband, because he was I say to the security guard, he's having chest pains. He says, "Oh, okay." And you could see he was rushing. He put us through, and the desk, here's the security guard, here's the desk. I'm not even kidding. It's right there. So we go up there, and there's one person standing in front of us and talking to the lady and everything. And the lady's and I said, "Bill, come sit down," because he was struggling. Come sit down over by them. So he went to sit over by where they are, where their intake thing is right there on the side of the desk. And the lady looks at me and she goes, "Oh, he's going to have to go sit over there in the waiting area because I have somebody else before him." I looked at her and I said, "He is having chest pains. Are you for real? Oh, okay, one second. So then we go sit down, and then a couple, maybe 2 or 3 minutes pass by, and another lady comes over. She's like, "Come on, come on." So she takes him into the back room where they have like a room behind the desk that they take like EKGs. I guess when people are having chest pains, they want to make sure, they want to see if it's immediate. They need immediate assistance, because it could be. I guess it could be indigestion, but it also could be a fucking heart attack. Excuse me, guys. I'm sorry. You just have to bear with me because, this is a very emotional time and it's very emotional. And sometimes I say things that I shouldn't. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I offended anybody. I'm very sorry. But just, you got to give me some leeway. Anyway, they take his EKG. They come out and they said it didn't show anything. So we go sit down. It was probably about 15, 20 minutes, maybe 20, 25 minutes. And I was like freaking out. Like, they got to get him in. I don't know what they're doing. He said his symptoms had subsided. He still felt like uncomfortable, but it wasn't bad. So they finally call him in. We go back there. And what happened? I forget. Oh, they took blood work and everything else. And and the doctor came in and they put him on, like they say they were going to have to take echoes and all that kind of stuff because, they didn't know what was going on. And when they got the blood work back, it did show high elevation of the enzyme, of the heart enzyme. So they came back and they said, you definitely had a heart attack. Now this, you got to understand, this didn't happen right away. We were sitting there for hours and hours while they gave him the blood thinner and everything. And, everything is like they got to wait. They all hurry up to wait, It's just all, I'm not saying anything personal about the doctors or the nurses because they're amazing. But it's just the bureaucracy of the hospital, of everything, the state, you know how it goes. I don't have to tell any of you that. I'm sure you know. Anyway, after 4 or 5 hours, they come out and they say, "Oh, yes, your enzyme was up, so you definitely had a mild heart attack." And we were like I really thought, guys, that it was like his acid reflux, indigestion. I wasn't 100% sure. I thought maybe, like, I was having two thoughts. It's either something major, really major, or it's just acid reflux. Because when my husband got up off the chair and I said to him, "Are you okay? And he said, "No, I don't feel good. I'm having chest pains." And I said, "What?" And he said, "Yeah." He goes, I want to go to the hospital." I knew right then and there he was afraid and he felt something different. And he said to me, it was so different than anything else I've ever had. Because he's been like sickly the last couple of weeks. He hasn't felt good. His arms have been hurting him more than usual because of his shoulders. He thought it was. But in the meantime, they said that there was damage on his heart, one of his valves or something. So he could have had it. Well, Saturday he didn't feel good. He had the same symptoms, but they went away. And he didn't tell me. They subsided and went away, so he thought it was just indigestion. They went away. But you could see he looked like he had the flu or something. He didn't look himself, and he was dragging. So I said to him, maybe you should go to the doctor. I think it was like on Friday or Saturday. And so that was it. And then Sunday, we were sitting, we ate dinner, we sat down, he was drinking, he just got a cup of coffee, sat down, and he started coughing, like really. I'm like, what's going on? Because he has a lot of acid reflux because of the sleeve and just because other stuff. So he always has something going on over there. So he goes, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I can't clear my throat. I don't know. So he's sitting there, and I'm observing. I keep looking at him and making sure he's making all coughing noises and stuff. I'm like, Bill, what is going on? He's like, I don't know. My throat feels weird and all of that. I'm like, oh my God, okay. I said, you having any chest pains? And he's like, no, I'm good. So that lasted about 5 minutes, and then he started up again, and I saw the concern on his face, and I said, he went to get up, and I said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Are you having chest pains?" Because he just did not look right. He looked awful. And he said, "Yeah." He goes, "I am." He goes, I want to go to the hospital." And I'm like, I, I just got up from my chair and I'm like, "Let's go." I said, "Do your arms hurt? Does one of your arms hurt?" He said, "Actually, both of my arms hurt, and my neck and everything. And I don't feel right." I was like, "Okay, I'm calling 911." He's like, "No, you're not calling 911." He's running around the house getting his shoes on, all this other stuff. I'm like, "I am calling." And he's like, "No, you're not calling 911." So I didn't want to aggravate him anymore. So I'm like, "Just let's go then. Get your sneakers." He got his sneakers on. It seemed like it was 20 minutes, but it was like 3 minutes. We got in the car and I went 85 miles an hour on the highway. I don't even remember driving or getting there. All I remember is that we got there. And guys, thank God we did get there, because I don't know if you guys ever heard of the Widowmaker. The Widowmaker is a saying that they say for people who just drop dead of a heart attack, because and they make their spouse a widowmaker. And that's what he had the potential of having. And why, God forbid, why, I don't know, God spared us. Thank the Lord, because I would be under the ground with him. Thank the Lord. He gave him he gave him a second chance, because he gave him these warning signs and everything, and it could have been so much worse. He could have just had a cardiac arrest. He could have coded, all these kind of things, and I'm just so thankful, God, guys, God, yes, God, that it didn't happen that way. And he was so lucky. We're so lucky, and it could have been tragic, tragic. So, saying all that and getting all over that thing, which is still going on, all that trauma, this is the next part. It has been really frustrating and all that, but and it was difficult, because he was having issues when they had when he did the catheterization, and that was my biggest fear. I was crying when the nurse came in to me, and I was crying before that, because I wasn't really afraid. I was afraid of the whole thing, but I was mainly afraid of, I didn't know what was going to happen. Like, those thoughts went through my head. Like, is he going to code on the table? Is something going to happen while they're doing it? He definitely has to have clogs, because, his enzymes are so high and everything. I was a wreck. So I was hysterical crying. The nurse came in, and the nurse was so amazing. Her name was Christina. And I got a story to tell you guys about her later. And I mentioned something about that on my first video yesterday, about a divine something happening with God. And I can't get into it right now because it's too emotional. But something really happened that just was comforting and just amazing. And I will tell you guys, don't worry, and you're going to be amazed. It's unbelievable. So I was crying because of all that. I was just like, I just let loose, and I was like, that cry where you just can't. So the nurse was there with me. She was comforting me, and she was so sweet. She's like, he'll be here in a few minutes. He comes in like 10 minutes later. I swear to God, guys. They roll him in on the bed. He comes in like he looks like he just got out of, coming out of the sauna. Not out of the sauna. Just like sleeping or relaxing. He looked amazing. He was like, I'm like, what are you? He looks at me and he goes, this is what he says to me, my husband. Why are you crying? I literally almost passed out right there on the floor. I said, are you really asking me why I'm crying? Are you for real? He's like, well, what do you mean? What do you mean? Everything went well, or everything else? I said, yeah, everything went well. Really, I mean, you're okay, thank God, but everything didn't go well, number one. Number two, what do you expect? I'm sitting here thinking about all the things that could go wrong. All the things, and that's what happens. You just can't help it. It's human nature, you know? He's like, oh, I'm sorry. And he didn't also know that the nurse came into me before and was talking to me and telling me all the things that occurred at the procedure that he didn't know. Okay. So he didn't know any of that. But I was like, are you for real? You're asking me why I'm crying? I love him to death, and you know that. I wanted to smack him in the face. Guys, it's just a whirlwind, you know? So much goes into this kind of situation. Everything. He's watching me on the ring. He's watching me on our camera ring, and he heard me. You're snooping on me? Bill?
What?
You're snooping?
Yeah, I was on the sewage with the bird. I heard you talking crap about me.
He just said to me, you're talking crap about me? He heard me say that. You wanted to smack me in the face? Yeah, I did, because you were acting like a knucklehead. Guys.
Okay,
Love you, bye.
Goodbye.
Are you feeling, wait, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm just sitting here. I'm relaxing. Nothing else I can do.
All right, I'll be there in 2 hours, honey, okay? Love you. Love you. Bye. Do you believe this? Do you believe this? Live. Right on live video. So funny. I don't even know what I was saying. Anyway, yeah, so you know, he had a pretty good day. They had to give him not antibiotics. They put an IV in because they didn't have an IV in before that. So they put an IV in when he came back, but the nurse said, and also they went in through his arm, not his groin. They prepared his groin area for it, but they went in through the arm because sometimes they can't get in through the arm, but they were able to, so they didn't have to go use the groin, but they had to prepare it beforehand in case. So they went through the arm. So he had to hold his arm still for 4 hours. They had to release the pressure every like 45 minutes. You know, he couldn't move his arm. One time it moved. I guess he moved his arm a little bit too much, and the blood came out. So then they had to restart it over again and do the 4 hours again. So that was a big pain in the ass hassle, but you know, came all with it. And so they gave him fluids, and then like maybe 2 or 3 hours later, he started not feeling well. He was like irritable, and he was a little bit short of breath. And she said if that happened, to tell her, because then that means he was getting too much fluid. If you can literally like drown in your own fluid, you know, between his kidneys being really full from the you know, solution, and for and just, you know, and all that fluid that was going into him with the IV, he started not feeling well. So she immediately came in, she took it off and everything, and he was like feeling all congested and just pressure, and he didn't feel good. So they took it out, and then it took about an hour or two, and he felt better. He even got a headache from it. He had to put an ice pack on it. So that was, you know, that he was okay after that, and then he was back to his normal self. His blood pressure was really high again. It came down. Now this morning his blood pressure was normal. So this is the story right now. He has to wait all day today, and most likely they think they're going to do it tomorrow morning. So, so right now his vitals, everything is good. So I've been up since, like I said, 6:30 in the morning, and and the food there. Now you have to understand, I've been in this hospital. This hospital, I was in there, you know, for the first time with COVID. Then I was in there again, and the food was amazing. I swear to God, it was like a 5-star restaurant. I don't even know. All I did was rave about the food. I couldn't wait to order my food. Like it was like salmon and sole, and just the food was amazing. So I've been building up to telling him about how good the food was. Well, he gets his meal. The food was disgusting. He got the filet of sole. It was hard as a rock. It was cold. It was gross. He had mashed potatoes. Everything was cold. So it was late because he couldn't eat until later. And so he couldn't get any other food. And I was like, I'll go out and get you something. He's like, no. He had a little bit of each thing, and he was okay. And they had graham crackers, and he was able to have some coffee. So he was happy with his coffee and some graham crackers. He was okay. So the next day, he was able to. He didn't want. I don't think he ordered breakfast. He ordered lunch or whatever. It was so-so. It wasn't that great. And then dinner last night wasn't that great. But he did eat all of it. But he said it really, really wasn't that great. And I was going to get him something at the cafeteria because I had went down for lunch and got something from the cafeteria. He didn't want anything, although I did bring him a little cheesecake, and he had a little piece of that. And so I had gotten a chicken salad sandwich. I don't know why. I was craving a chicken salad sandwich, and they had boar's head there and everything, which was fine. I wouldn't care anyway, but so I got a chicken salad sandwich on rye bread. Ooh, it was so delicious, and I could only eat half. I was going to take the other half home. I had gotten some sautéed zucchini as well that I had, and a bag of like vegetable chips or something. They were veggie chips or something. And so I said, I'm going to leave that half a turkey sandwich for you because maybe you'll be hungry later. So I left it for him, and he ate it. And he said it was okay. It wasn't that great. It was delicious. It was delicious. And I'm like, well, you don't understand. It was sitting all day. It was sitting for 6 hours out here. You know, I'm sure it wasn't the best sitting out all day. He's like, yeah, that's true, whatever. But anyway, I think he's getting breakfast right now. He got an omelet, so we'll see. But I was laying on the couch here, and then Cooper was snoring, so I couldn't fall back to sleep. He's telling me, go back to sleep. He's calling me. I see you. Go back to sleep. Why are you up so early? Beep-a-boo, beep-a-ba. I'm like, please. So I laid down. I was going to lay down for like another half hour. This one was snoring away. Look, doing what he does best. In my ear. Because my head, like, this isn't the pillow I use, but my head was like right here. And he's snoring right in my ear. So I was like, I can't sleep. So I was sitting there thinking, and I'm like, you know what? Last night I was just too exhausted to do anything. I was going to cook and stuff for him and bring food for him. But I was just like, I can't. I just can't. Emotionally, physically, more emotionally than anything, guys. Very emotional. Trying to keep my kids' spirits up. You know, everybody has anxiety. Everybody has issues. It's just really, really hard. You guys know. I'm not the only one going through stuff like this. So I was laying there and I'm like, you know what? I have like 2 pounds of chopped meat in there, 1.5 pounds of chopped meat in there that I didn't use. I'm going to make his favorite freaking meal. What is that? Meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and I made him some string beans, okay? Now, I know, Michelle, Chickens by the Lake, you want me to make my meatloaf recipe, and I did, but I just didn't have the head. I just did not have the head to do the video. But I will make it again, so don't worry. But I'm going to take you in there, and I'm going to show you what I made. I'm going to bring him meatloaf, mashed potatoes. I made gravy. I'm going to bring him a nice plate for dinner. I'm going to bring him a meatloaf sandwich because I'm sure what he got for dinner, the hamburger, is not going to be good. Like I said, the food, it's just completely different. The 5-star chef that they had there must have left. I don't know. But it's disgusting. It really was disgusting. You know. What? No ketchup. He just said no ketchup, 1 creamer, 2 sugar packs. This is sad. He's... And the other thing, too, is that because he's on a low-sodium diet, because his pressure was so high, they won't give him any salt. They give him Mrs. Dash. So I know, don't anybody yell at me. Don't yell at me. Don't judge me. Don't anything. He wanted a couple of salt packets, so I went down to the cafeteria. I got him a couple. I made sure he only had a little bit. He's got to be able... First of all, the food is disgusting to begin with. Second of all, it has to taste like something. And so I was just like, there's no way I'm allowing him to go through this another day. And when I found out last night he would probably be there till Thursday or Friday, I'm like, I'm gonna make him food. So I'm gonna bring him a meatloaf sandwich, probably 2, and I'm gonna bring him his dinner. I'm gonna bring a couple things for myself because I was prepared, but I wasn't prepared. Yesterday I bought in the cafeteria, and I bought a bagel yesterday. It's really not expensive there. It's not that bad. I got a lot of stuff for like $16 yesterday at the cafeteria, and their food is amazing, amazing. I don't understand why. I know that it's the same food, but for some reason it's not, it's good, and the other food isn't. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, let me take a breath. I made this coffee. I can't even drink it. I'm just so thirsty. I need water. I wanted it. Had a couple of sips and I'm fine. I'll save it for later. Um, so, what was I saying? Yeah, so I said, you know what? I'm just going to bring him fruit. Oh, so I wasn't really prepared. So I bought lunch yesterday. I spent the money or whatever. And I don't want to spend any more money because, it's crazy. Please, financially, I don't even know what's going to happen. Anyway, I don't even want to go there. My mind's not even going in that space right now because all I'm thinking about is him and focusing on getting this prolonged thing taken care of because it's like dragging out, and the dragging out is like driving us all crazy because it's so emotional and so scary, and we don't. So anyway, I'm not going there right now, but I need to save money and to be, I can't be buying food every day and all that other stuff. It's just too much, So this morning I felt better, so I had time to do. Yesterday I didn't have time to even grab anything. Because I was there at 8 o'clock in the morning. Tomorrow's probably going to be the same thing. So I'm going to prepare tonight for tomorrow as well, and I'm going to bring stuff today. So that'll save money and all of that. And then when I come home tonight, and my son, me and him, we got Wendy's, and then the night before that, and then last night, Julie came back to the house with me and Darren and with Brody. And, Brody was here, and then Julie came back. Julie was there at the hospital with us, then she came, and Frankie came earlier for like 3 hours. He was there. Julie came back here, hung out with Cooper and the dog, and let them go outside a little bit, and for a little bit. And then I came back here, and then we ordered pizza. So we ate last night, and that's just another expense. So I have food in here. I have a London broil for tonight, so Frankie's going to season it all up. And then get it all ready. When I come home tonight, I'll just throw a London broil in, and that's it. It's just the last 2 days, it was just too stressful and too emotional to do anything. And I'm not mad about it. It is what it is. You can't do everything. It's just crazy. Anyway, guys, so that's the story. So it's 9:15. I'm gonna bring you in there. I'm gonna stop a minute, bring you in there, and show you the meal that I made, show you the situation, and then I'll say goodbye, and then I will update you probably later. He even said maybe if he's feeling emotionally okay and all of that, he'll let me video him a little bit. So wait, maybe, I'm not promising, but maybe he will allow you guys to see him for a minute. All right, so yeah. All right, guys, so here it is. I made him instant mashed. I really should have just made him regular mashed so I could control the sodium more, but I didn't add any salt to it. He's only going to have a little of the mash, and from here on out, we're going to do the whole low sodium, all that thing. I made him gravy, and here's the meatloaf. I tried a little piece of it. It's delicious. And I made him some string beans with garlic and olive oil, no butter. So, yeah, so this is what I'm going to bring him. Like I said, I'm going to make a couple of sandwiches. I'm going to get a nice hot meal together for him, my containers that I have, and that's going to be what's going on. All right, guys, so I'm going to clean up this kitchen. I'm going to get all organized. I'm bringing a backgammon game today so we have something to do because he's so antsy and all of that. I'm going to bring him his word search, which he didn't really want me to bring, but I'm just going to bring a few things with him. Because, to sit there and be bored, how much can you be on your phone? How much, it gets a little monotonous. I know exactly how he feels because I was there for 6 days one time, 15 days another time, 5 days another. I know what it's like. It's not easy being in the hospital, and I'm sure all of you know that, one time or another. Hopefully, knock on wood, hopefully you don't, and I don't wish it on you, but I'm just saying, a lot of people can relate. Yes, guys. Also, I didn't load this meal up with salt. I definitely just put a tiny drop of salt, and I didn't. I seasoned it with garlic powder, onion powder, and I even put a little Mrs. Dash in there. And he has maybe 2 things, a little salt. He'll probably put a little bit of salt on the meatloaf, maybe on the mashed potato, and that's it. He's an adult. I gotta make him comfortable as well. But I know my limits. You know what I mean? Nobody judge me. Nobody tell me, oh, you shouldn't have gave him salt. You shouldn't have did this, shouldn't have that. I can't even handle that right now. So please just, if you have any negative comments, keep them to yourself, or go to your, or talk to your husband about them or something, because and I'm not saying you can't say anything to me like, Linda, this, that, maybe if you do this, or maybe suggestions. I'm not saying that. I'm open to all of that, guys. I'm open to it. But I'm not open to, you shouldn't have did that, you shouldn't have gave him the salt, because my kids already yelled at me for that and everything else, and I had to have a whole discussion with them, because I'm in a difficult position myself. Okay, so I'm just letting you guys know that I'm doing the right things for him, and it's not going to be something that's going to happen overnight. It's going to be a life change for all of us, which is, knock on wood, is a good thing. So anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that, guys. Like I said, if you give me any negativity, I'm going to just block you. I love all of you, I really do, but I can't handle it. And yes, I'm taking care of myself. Thank you so much. Here I go. Thank you so, so much for all your support, your love, your comfort. You guys have no idea how much I need all of you. My family, my friends, strangers, people. If I didn't have all of you, everybody around me these last 3 or 4, since Sunday, I'd be laying in the hospital bed next to him. I'm not even kidding. Even worse. It's just really, really very, very difficult. And the support, just to know people are there, even if they're in Canada, know people are there. My family stepped up, my sisters. I just want to tell you, I'm so, so happy that I have a relationship with my sisters again. They're there for me, my cousins, everybody. Thank you, everybody on YouTube, all of you. I love all of you. I can't say thank you enough. Please just keep praying that everything goes okay. And I love you guys, and I will definitely update you. If I'll definitely do a video either this evening or maybe later. You know what I mean? Just wait for it, and or even I'll keep you updated on the community post. Okay. All right, guys. I love you. Pray for us. I'm praying for all of you that everything is well. Love all of you, and we'll talk shortly. Love you guys. Have a great day. Subscribe, like, and share. Hit the notification bell. And just everybody, thank you so much for coming into my home and my life with me and sharing everything and creating with me always. I love yous. See yous later. Have a great day. Bye.